So welcome back to the mentor session. We have Coinrule with us now. We're on Monday, May 4th. This is the last mentor session for Coinrule. We're going to collect all the feedback from our mentors throughout the past week, and we hope to move forward to accelerate our startups moving forward. We have two prestigious mentors here with us. Thank you very much for joining, Thomas, Michael. I ask you to give a short introduction, who you are, what you can offer, and then we'll hit it with Coinrule. Thomas, please go ahead.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Thomas. I'm a Frankfurt-based mentor, working with the Accelerator Frankfurt from day zero on, I would say. I spent my first life in consulting, working for Accenture, Anderson Consulting, Arthur Anderson, all those three names are the same company. I was a partner there and left 2003 to get into the startup business. Since then, I am a founder, co-founder, in several cases, managing director of startups. I have several investments as a business angel. I have a small portfolio of about a dozen investments. Most of them are in relatively small in size. Some are bigger. My main investment is Ambutex, a company where I'm personally involved as a manager director. I've been working as a mentor for Accelerator Frankfurt, for Startup Bootcamp in Berlin, and also for a PropTech Accelerator in Frankfurt that I have helped building and running. And yeah, my specialty and what you can get from me is more a vertical rather than a more horizontal, less of a vertical view. So I'm not a specialist in fintech and in cybersecurity or anything like that. I'm more a generalistic person, helping you in setting up the company, doing the right things, understanding your financials, building a decent business case, business plan, asking you embarrassing questions, and trying to figure out if you really have a holistic view on what you plan to build. I'm 62, 1 children, 2 grandchildren, and I'm flying helicopter. And as you see in the background, I'm also diving with wild dolphins.
Nice.
Nice.
Michael, now you have another difficult position to live up to now.
Definitely. The only thing that I'm diving into is startups. So actually, this is the picture of my diving. It's the A2B Startup Accelerator in Jerusalem that I'm running for the last 7 years. We had 6 rounds of acceleration and helped 54 startups of students, alumni, and faculty members, people from Jerusalem and the area. And we managed to build 54 startups, as I mentioned, that raised a lot of money, over $30 million. And I'm also representing Launch It Capital, a VC, a micro VC, investing in startups, investing in 32 startups already, and quite successful as well. I'm here to help you polish any material you have and get you investment ready. Launch It Capital also invested in one of the startups of the second cohort of Accelerator Frankfurt. In Accelerator Frankfurt, we are an acceleration partner, the Israeli acceleration partner, privileged to be the partner of Accelerator Frankfurt for the last 7 cohorts, and been there from the very beginning. And I'm very honored and privileged to be here as well.
Thank you very much, Michael. And yes, do pay attention to these guys, because I think they're right in the sweet spot for Launch It Capital. So maybe we can get Launch It Capital invested in one more of our companies. No pressure, guys. So go ahead, please. Good to see you, Gabriel. How are you doing?
Good, good. I'm good. Should we start presenting quickly Coinrule, or should we?
Sure. Yeah, you're free to do it how you want. I would suggest give an introduction, who you guys are, where you come from, background, and what is Coinrule. And then perhaps the business canvas, they've been looking at it in the previous sessions. Maybe we can go through that as well. I always also like the demos that you show. They're awesome.
Okay, perfect. Let me just
We'll do
get on the slide with the team. I'm Gabriel, pure Londoner. I've been in London for 11 years. I'm originally from Italy and been around the world working at MIT in Boston and in Finland at Nokia. And when I was in London before my startup's life, I was always working for innovation labs in several banks, HSBC, UBS, and Lloyds. So always building new proposition for retail customers and also for traders. This is my third company. The first one was going well, but I stopped it because there was no founder market fit. It was in the fashion and beauty space, a very organic growth, and I like exponential growth. The second one folded because the team was not right and it was completely my fault. This one is apparently is going very well. And that's me. Oleg?
Hi, yeah, I'm Oleg. I grew up in Frankfurt myself, actually, so I'm from the city where our great accelerator is based. Actually, Michael, I also know Jerusalem very well. I used to, for a while, I didn't mention it before, but actually helped, I worked a bit with Startup Nation Central. I helped also to build like a tech ecosystem in the West Bank. So we were working with Rawabi, we were working with Jerusalem with a couple of accelerators. So I would love to chat about that separately another time. But yeah, my background is I moved to the UK from Frankfurt, studied here, went to the University of Oxford, then joined Citigroup, worked in banking for a few years, quit in 2016 to build my first startup. We joined an accelerator program, Mass Challenge, where I met Gabriele and also a third co-founder, Zdenek, our CTO. And I started to get into the whole crypto and blockchain space around that time. And well, we ended up starting Coinrule together.
Yes,
just to jump in, Michael, this is quite new also what I hear from Oleg. And Michael has practically built the ecosystem in Jerusalem. Yeah, right, Michael?
Well, I always say that an ecosystem is not one place. There's a lot of places altogether. But I'm a board member of Made in Jerusalem, and I'm working very closely with everybody in SNC. We're good friends with the CEO and also the director, and we are working on several projects together. Together, we also build the Made in Jerusalem ecosystem community. A community of leaders of communities. So yeah,
you probably know
along a few of the projects that you mentioned.
The organization I was working for was the Portland Trust. So you might have come across Yishai Sorek. We were working with the World Bank, a lady called Yulia, I forgot her last name. You've probably come across them in like various environments.
That's fantastic. I also work with the San Diego University, so we have another project. I see that's been there.
Yeah, I was at UC San Diego. I did the 1-year exchange program, so I lived there. Nice, interesting. It's a small world.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. And then we have Zdenek, our CTO and third co-founder. He's from Czech Republic. He was in London, but now he's back in the Czech Republic, and he's building. He actually built our tech team in Pilsen. It is a small city 1 hour away from Prague. So we have 3 engineers in near Prague, and that also means that 3 engineers there, they cost as much as a 1 senior developer in London. That's very cost effective, and it's also very interesting because Czech Republic is booming. They only have like 2% unemployment, and it's a very good place where to actually build a business.
Here's another connection for you, Ram. I'm also operating an accelerator in the Czech Republic in Prague at the Technical University of Prague. It's called Patrick.
Amazing.
Nice.
We are also connected.
Yes, it's something
we should talk more. We should talk more.
Because you are building several accelerators in Czech Republic, Macedonia, where else?
Bosnia and the Northeastern University in Boston.
Oh, I worked at Northeastern University. I worked at the Network Science Institute after the MIT. That was my job for 1 year with the Barabasi. You know Barabasi? Albert Laszlo Barabasi.
I'm working with Amir, but we can actually have a chat and actually cross some cross some links there.
We'll end up discovering we are part of, you know, we are cousins or something.
That's why I wanted to check, basically. But
Yeah.
please go ahead.
Yes, and let's go on the real problem of Coinrule. So basically, nowadays, if someone like me, Oleg, or millennial wants to buy, invest some money and buy some coins, the first thing he buys cryptocurrencies because there's been a revolution in the blockchain and the finance space, and that's also been acknowledged by the economists that in October said that 90% of Wall Street is managed by robots. So that leaves the retail investor, the normal investors like us, without any real weapon to fight back these big investment banks. Our typical user is someone between 30 to 40 years old that has probably done some investments on Binance, on Coinbase, and then after all these investments, he understands that it takes so much time. So what he does, then he starts looking for some automation, and that's when they come across Coinrule usually. Also, like these people, they would like to get upskilled, learn a little bit more how to react to market changes when there is big volatility that can create opportunity, but can also create a lot of risk. So they would like to do that. So with Coinrule, you can say if Bitcoin goes down 2%, buy this other coin at this specific price. You can set several parameters and conditions. You can also test your strategy on historical data. And then when you feel comfortable, you can press play and the strategy goes on the market and trades on your behalf. So it's all automatic. And it doesn't require any coding skill. It's a very visual interface. With a few clicks, you can create a rule. At the moment, we connect with 10 exchanges, the most famous one, and we cover 90% of the market. The product is launched, it's global. We have big presence in the US, in Brazil, in Spain, also UK, obviously. People, they have a very, they love and they hate us. So we have a lot of conversation with them. Some of them are good, some of them are less good, but we have a lot of feedback. We gather a lot of feedback and then we solutionize and implement constantly every month. So at the moment, we offer an edutainment experience. So it's educational, but it's fun also because there's an entertainment part. It's a smart assistant for you to trade, and there's a financial inclusion element that is basically help these people fighting back in this world that is all automatic and it involves all bots. Later on, the long-term vision. So it's to be able to connect ecosystems of finances. So for example, one day you can invest in Ethereum, another day you can invest in a normal stock like Tesla, another day you can do copy trading on Toro, or you can even use like some decentralized app. So the idea that in the 5-10 years long run, the big vision is to give access to all the finance on all type of assets across blockchains, from traditional and also like new assets. So one thing to mention is that now we are talking with IG Index and Trading 2112 to actually also integrate a platform to be able to trade more traditional assets. One last slide about the metrics. So far, we have 7,500 users. We grow in terms of marketing 30% every month, and that's with zero marketing spend. So all these users, we got them with a very good SEO strategy, search engine optimization. It's a proprietary technology that we build in-house that generates a lot of original content that gets ranked very well on Google. So for some keywords, we are first position on the first page of Google. And we are talking about thousands of landing pages that capture all sorts of keywords, exchange coins. So with that one, with zero marketing spend, we are growing 30% month over month in terms of signups. We have also 2 million traded volume per month on average, and we are generating revenue. So the revenue is around $2,000 to $2,700. So this 2007 was in March. In April, it was a little bit less than that because of the COVID crisis. And also the important thing is our users are generating 4,400 live strategies, but also around 7,000 demo strategies with the paper trading. So a total of 13,000 strategies per month. So the activation is there, people are using the platform, but we're always looking to raise a little bit more the monetization. One last thing, these are the metrics, but we can share with you the data room. So yeah, one last thing is that we did a previous funding round last July 2019. We got 250,000 USD. When we got that, we were pre-money, pre-revenue, pre-traction, pre-team. So with 250K, we managed to build a team of 7 people to launch the product, to get traction, and to get also revenue. And the investors in the previous rounds were one bank, MKB Bank. It's a leading bank in Hungary, Budapest, and 2 angels from Finland that happened to be my former bosses when I was working in Finland. The company, Coinrule, the headquarters is in London. It's a pure British company. And then we have also an office in Czech Republic. But the investors are actually from Hungary and Finland. And also we have 2 advisors. One is a professor of data science at City University, and Richard Lagrand is my marketing advisor for Startup Bootcamp. I think that's all.
I would suggest perhaps Oleg put up the canvas and please start asking questions. Did you get it?
Gabriele, if you stop sharing your screen, I can share the yeah. And of course, please feel free to jump in with questions, you know, any thoughts or comments already. But otherwise, I would just walk you through quickly the product now to give you an even better idea. So basically, this is where you arrive as a user. You have a dashboard where you see your different strategies, how they are performing, what has been happening in the market. One important thing to understand is that Coinrule is not the trades don't settle on our end. They don't happen directly on our end, but as a user, you connect an exchange. So right now it's only the cryptocurrency exchanges. You create an API key. We guide you through the process with short videos, but we don't actually have access to your funds. So that means we can place trades, we can view your account balance, but we can't actually take your funds out of your wallets. So that means that we are non-custodial, so we don't have any risk in that regard. And of course, in the future, you'll be able to also connect IG Index, Trading 212, the various platforms we work with here. And then in the dashboard, once you have connected your different exchanges, you're also able to see your account balances on each. So you'll be able to see your IG Index balance, your Binance balance, and so on in one place. So you won't have to actually log into the different platforms, which is already quite a value add. Now, if you want to start trading, you go into the interface. And for users who don't really know where they want to start, we have a list of over 150 template strategies, which our head of trading, Ruben, who's a very experienced trader, put together. In the future, our users, the ones who are top traders, will also be able to create templates and then share it with the community. So there will be a strong social element built in as well. Again, like you can open them up, you can read about them. It's all designed to be very educational. Now, if you want to build your own strategies, you can do that also through our interface. You can select from different indicators. Some are more basic, but also we have some more advanced technical indicators if you're interested in them. But let's say I just want to have one rule that protects my whole portfolio. So if any of the coins in my portfolio has a 5% price drop within 1 hour, which means that it drops very quickly, I want to sell 50% of that coin, let's say, to a stable coin, to my BUSD wallet, and do it 10 times. Now, this is, of course, a very simple strategy. I could add multiple separate steps through the blocks here. Let's just go test. You might see here on the right, we have a nice visual guide that actually tells the user in plain English what they're doing. And then you press launch. You can read one more time what the strategy would do, and you launch it live. So we have a lot of users who start the rules running on the demo exchange, and then depending on the performance, they adjust and then they start it live. So here's an example of a more complicated strategy, let's say advanced. It consists of multiple steps and also says that you buy the coin if this indicator is met, but then if at any time there's another condition met, you take profit on it. So that's just one example of something slightly more advanced, but it's still all designed to be very easy to understand, even for beginners. You might be able to see here on the right, we have a chat. That's actually something that our users use very actively to talk to us directly, to understand how things work and if what they're doing makes sense. the help center is also very much designed to enable our users to actually be able to launch these strategies. And
Do you
then
have an
finally,
option? Do you have an option to create like a game, like a virtual trade? What if I would have invested in this and that, just to get the user experience? You know, this is fantastic, but some people are not sure, or they're late beginners in trading, or they want to try it out before they are actually doing it. Can you conduct like a game, like it's not real, but if you want to trade a little bit and see what happens, and then go to the real world?
Mhm. So that's something called backtesting, and actually that is something that we are working on very hard right now, because we know it's a very important feature. So users will be able to test their strategies on historical data, so they'll be able to see how the strategy would have done in the past, and it's something that we are really gamifying. So we're making it fun, we're making it for them as a way to really experiment and almost try to discover the right strategies.
I'm not sure that it is exactly what I meant. What I meant was like to be a real trader and see tomorrow whether you succeeded with your strategy or not, and then decide whether to go on uh, to the real world and try to trade.
We have that. We have that. It's called the demo wallet or paper trading. If you go on the Coinrule page, you can see it on the top left. Yeah, this is a demo exchange that mirrors the price of Binance's, but it's actually a fake money. So you can actually play around and see how your rule performs every day. Then when you feel comfortable that the rule works, then you can switch on a live data with the real money.
That's what I'm actually doing these days. So I'm using Coinrule and I'm creating strategies with the demo wallet to see if they work or not.
Ram, I actually implemented your strategy Friday night and Sunday. It's actually working for me.
Yeah, this is the basics. Crypto price usually fall. You usually go up, sell on Friday, buy on Sunday, basically. That's basic.
I'm just playing with the time now, with the times, because I buy around 3 a.m. in the morning on Sunday to work.
Yeah.
And with the backtesting, you'll be even easier to find the right time, because you can actually test it for the different times.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of pricing, we are a SaaS platform, so we charge monthly. So we have 3 plans here. You only see 2 because Oleg is already on the first plan, but you can show the pricing page, Oleg, please. So it starts from $30, it goes up to $450, and that's for hedge fund and funds. Most of the users are on the hobbyist plan, so the pricing is very clear. There is no hidden cost for the users, and this is very good because by charging monthly, we are actually just a software provider. So in the future as well, we don't have any problem with financial authorities, the FCA, in terms of framework. Because if we were to charge by transactions or by volume, then there is like some work to do in terms of compliance. You know, need to register, need to actually get a robo-advisory license, etc., etc. So that's why we charge SaaS, and also because it's a more stable revenue pricing structure. One last thing I wanted to share, Oleg, if we can actually search on Google, so we can show them how our SEO strategy is working.
That's already open.
Yeah. So if in this case, for example, if you search on Google, you can try yourself automated trading Kraken or Coinbase or Binance. If you can see, actually Coinrule is the first and second result. In this case, it's first result on the first page of Google, and that's for free. That's all organic. So this
if you do the same thing with Bitcoin, you write Bitcoin in the end.
Let's see. Because we have so many landing pages, like we're talking about thousands that we automatically generate with the original content.
So for Bitcoin, it's very difficult to rank because Bitcoin. That's like, but still
we are right here. We are like 5th or 6th.
Just a bit lower.
Yeah,
but still first page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how we generated all the traffic so far with the zero marketing spend. That's our growth hack. And also another way we reach our customers is through a partnership with exchanges. So at the moment we are in partnership with the Kraken, eToroX, Binance. We are in the broker program. liquid Bitfund accelerator. It's like around 10 partnerships. A partnership for us involve a cross marketing campaign on the newsletter, on the customer, our customer, PR release like this one that we have with Liquid, social visibility, and also technical integration. And sometimes like Kraken, they also allocate some money to a campaign. Kraken allocated $10,000 as a campaign for our users. So it's actually a proper partnership.
So just to get a bit more clarity, you have the problem here and you have your ideal users. Can you talk about this? Really, what is the problem and who would be the ideal user of this platform?
Oleg, you want to go for that?
Yeah, sure. So in a way, like we are our ideal users, which is one of the reasons why both we are enjoying this so much, but it's also working because we really understand the problem. So it actually started, this was originally Gabriele's idea. He had an idea for a trading strategy that he wanted to implement, but he quickly realized it's not something he can do without coding skills. If you go out into the market today, the majority of trading interfaces are made for people from 20 years ago. They're not user-friendly, they're not intuitive, they're not part of this, let's say, new design-driven approach that is about building products that are easy to use, intuitive, etc. So a lot of people of our age, I want to trade more actively. Like I know people who trade actively and they are making a return from it, but I don't have weeks and weeks and weeks to learn it, to understand how to code my own algorithms, to really do all those things that are required to get to that level. What we're doing is we're making it easier for people like ourselves to get started with more active trading by letting them build automated strategies and doing that in a very easy way. That's it.
Thomas, did you have anything?
You said you have 55 paying users. How are these distributed between the different pricing models?
Most of them are on the hobbyist plan. The cheapest one, probably, I will say, like 10% is on the trader plan and the most is on the hobbyist plan. Then for the pro, we are talking, we had 2 incoming leads from a B2B stream. So we are not focusing on B2B, we have a pure B2C fintech crypto company, but there were 2 requests, one from an hedge fund from Australia, one from a family offices in German. For them, the narrative is, we don't want to spend time to actually have a tech team in-house to build algorithms, and with 6 months, we much prefer to take an off-the-shelf product and actually apply our strategies that are relatively simple, because most of these hedge funds, they do swing trading, they do scalping. So there is, so actually our platform is great for them. So for example, with the Australian company, they're talking about 25K yearly license for a B2B contract.
The other question I have, you have 7,500 users, out of which 55 are paying. So obviously the free users enjoy the system a lot. And is the attraction to shift into a paying model maybe not, attractive enough, because they are all happy with 2 rules. Maybe you just downgrade it to 1 rule or make it even more attractive for them to actually shift over to a paying model.
That's a good question. Basically, we were before going to the US in November. We were for 1 month in California. Before that, we were focusing exclusively on revenue. So we were a typical European company focusing on revenues. But then we realized that our stage, we need to focus on growth first and actually generate huge volumes, and then monetize even more. That's what we needed at the moment. So we actually swapped the pricing plan, and we allowed a little bit more stuff on the free. And now we are trying to upsell with more features. So the feature that will come later on in the year that are backtesting, that are marketplace with copy trading. So there's going to be an element, a community element. There's going to be many more features coming in. They will be available for the more expensive plan, and that will drive the user more on the paid plan as well. But the free plan now is relatively also like limited, because it's only 2 rules and there's a cap to 5K traded per month. So now we are kind of adopting a mix of growth and revenue focused pricing.
Yeah, you may want to play around with the premium. The premium is always a problem because there's so many people who love premium, who love the free of the premium model.
Yeah.
And there's another way to lock them in is to, you know, start with a subscription and giving them 1 or 2 months free, and then they have the option to cancel with 4 weeks notice. Many people don't cancel because they're so lazy. So, but then you lock them in and have them as paid users, which is, I think that's a model that, you know, Netflix and all the others are doing. They give you $4.99 the first month, and then it's $9.99, and you just forget to cancel, and then you're in the system. So it's another way of locking users in and making them paid users. Because I mean, 2,700 euros per month, that, you know, probably pays for one of your paychecks and no more at the moment. And the question is, how fast can you grow and cover your costs? Is that, you have a timeline for that? When you expect some sort of break even or so?
Yeah, like actually we have a lot of very interesting data on that. I would rather not talk about it while we are on live stream, but we can speak about that separately. But we know, for example, exactly what is our average revenue per user. We know how much is our average revenue per paying as well as per user. So there is a lot of data we can actually play around with. And what we are at this point really experimenting with is to kind of find this right mixture. We're still at this point a relatively like reasonably high price product, like it's not $9.99. But then our users, theoretically, the idea is that they get, let's say, 10x value of what they're paying. So of course, if you're using Coinrule to make money, if you're having so and so much amount of profit, there is a certain amount that you're willing to pay. There was actually, Gabriele, an article that we posted recently based on our data, which is something, I don't know if you have it and you could share it, but something we're quite proud of, that even during the market crash.
67% Coinrule, and you can find it if you Google it.
That quite a big number of our users actually were in profit. And that's what we are, yeah, there we go. This was data literally from our stats, from our mixed panel stats. Which was great, and that's something we really use now to drive additional conversion.
Can you show the graph if you scroll? The graph is very interesting.
Yeah, this is clearly a very interesting system. What is your barrier to entry for payment? You're not an exchange, so you don't have to mess around with regulation. On the other side of the coin, it makes someone else also easy to copycat the system and come up with something very similar. What's the barrier of entry from your side, what do you think?
The barrier to entry is it's actually the proprietary technology. So the platform looks extremely simple on the front end, because that's the nature of our user interface. But the actual arbiter, so the one that decides how to switch the orders across exchanges and like to do a series of operations, is actually relatively complex, and that's a proprietary technology that it took 1 year to build. So obviously, if someone comes with 10 millions down and like I don't know, 6 months of work, can copy the actual technology, but that's the case with any platform out there. Airbnb can be copied in 6 months. Uber can be copied by 1 or 2 developers within 4 weeks. So that's the actual case for a lot of big companies. The actual barrier to entry, then it comes down to the distribution, to the channel, and also to the branding. So in our case, we have strong relations with the more than 10 exchanges. We have partnerships in place. We have a recognized brand that ranks very well on Google. So that's actually a very strong validation together with our proprietary technology.
What about allocating some funds to target customers on Facebook?
Facebook, we are doing some experiments on Facebook. Our strategy in terms of marketing is really product driven, zero marketing spend, just because we don't have much budget to spend on marketing. So we are having more kind of the Atlassian or the Apple approach, that the product will sell itself through also a lot of small growth hacks. Also, Facebook historically has been a little bit against crypto. So in order to advertise, you need to have an indirect link on another source. Then from that source, go to actual website. So it's not, even if you spend, if you spend like, let's say one US dollar on per click, then that click actually, the funnel is very long. So it is good probability you lose the user from there. So yeah, we are, what works very well for us in terms of paid campaign is newsletters campaigns. So it's basically If you take famous newsletters like Techstars or Y Combinator, on the bottom you can advertise. And we tried that one. It was very good conversion rate. In terms of segmentation, it's great because our target user is someone that is a bit techy, it's intellectually active. So, you know, potentially reads good newsletters like Y Combinator, Techstars. And we paid something like, I think $1.8 per click. And out of those clicks, we converted around 30%. So it was relatively good in terms of experiment. Yeah, so when we will have the budget with the next fundraise, we'll totally activate some paid campaign.
I have a question on, I have a few questions, but the first one is the kickbacks. You have the revenue stream on the bottom. I see kickback from exchanges. What does that mean? Can you elaborate here?
Yeah. So we have agreements with a number of the exchanges with whom we have partnerships, most prominently with Binance. We are part of their broker partner program. And the idea is that any user traffic trading volume we send to them, we get a certain percentage of the trading fees. That's something we've been separately negotiating with each exchange, so that the kind of gives us both the possibility to actually benefit from traffic that we send to the exchanges, as well as to kind of, let's say, work with the exchanges on a structure that also incentivizes us to maybe position some exchanges in a particular way. What's exciting about it's right now not yet a major revenue stream, but it's definitely something we're building up as we are getting more volume on the platform as well. Just kind of, it almost becomes self-reinforcing. The bigger we become, the more we get in terms of kickbacks, and the more difficult it becomes to copy us.
Mm-hmm. And the other question that came up was when Thomas asked about your current users and how to perhaps tap into converting them better. Your pricing does not offer monthly subscriptions. You just offer yearly subscriptions. Is there a reason for that? Have you tried perhaps playing with it? Or
we actually offer also monthly, but that's a small trick that we use to make people sign up to annual. Yeah, we give a discount and then the toggle is switched to annual. That's
okay. I missed the toggle totally.
Yeah. No, that's on purpose. The position is on purpose to make you miss the toggle.
Nice.
That's UX tricks. Yes.
So obviously, it's possible for me to get it on a monthly base and try it, and if I'm happy, then to do the yearly one.
Yeah, we have a 14 days refund policy. Actually, a couple of users used it already to ask for a refund.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about, you mentioned the fundraising. Can you elaborate? You have two investors here, obviously. So let's hear what have you raised to date, and what's the roadmap?
So far, the company has received. Can you stop sharing, Oleg, so I can share the?
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks. So far the company received for the first fundraise $250,000, as said, from a bank and two angels, and now and then after that we now received a small grant of 10K plus another couple of grants from the UK government. Total I would say around 30K. Actually it's 40K US dollars. And now we are fundraising. We are doing a small round that is around 400K. Pounds. Sorry, I'm switching from USD to pounds because it's always like this with us. We work in 2-3 currencies, but we are fundraising now like for 400K, and that will allow us to reach something like 8,000 pounds per month. So with that amount, then the idea is to raise then a Series A or a seed in February. So to recap, we got 200K before. Now we are looking for 400K. And we are raising 2 million in next February. So this round that we are doing now of 400K, it's a bridge round to let us reach the right metrics and numbers, then to then close the deal with the VCs. We already talked with a lot of VCs. We have advanced conversations with the CVVC, We talked with Anders and Horowitz last week, 2 weeks ago. They're in California. They're the best VCs in the world. Very interested about on the product. They just cannot write checks that are like 500K. They can only write checks from 2 million onwards. We also talked with global funders in London, so they are the investor of Revolut. So we are very well connected now with the VC space, but they all give us some sort of thresholds. So when we reach that, we can totally reactivate the conversation and basically, yeah, that round will be relatively easy if we get the right method.
What about your cloud strategy? Are you getting any coupons?
Yeah. We are we are very good in asking Amazon to give us free credit. So it's, I think Oleg is a magician on that. How much credit we got, Oleg?
I think in total we must have gotten over 40K. I mean, we've been using the credit program for like over 2 years.
Yeah.
And we still have roughly like 10-15K until October to burn.
I think we kept asking, I think for 3 or 4 times, and they kept giving us, yeah, we reached them from different sources.
Yeah. That's the thing. We've been quite lucky. We have a lot of contacts and friends in different places, so we kind of always find like a route. We use some really great tools like Mixpanel. It's the best analytics tool I've ever seen, and we've been using it for 1 year for free. Basically, the enterprise plan. Same with ActiveCampaign. Same with Hotjar. So we've been quite good in that.
Yeah, I mean, all these tools, you know, at the end of the day, they add up to like, you know, $500, $1,000 a month. So it's like real expenses that it's good to save at this stage of the company.
You should be able to get even more cloud credits through Accelerator Frankfurt as well.
Amazing.
So yeah, we have a partnership with Amazon, but you already surpassed what they give. But I know
probably
that they can go up to 100K sometimes for very promising startups. So we can use also our connection. Amazon are very well in supporting startups.
For example, last time it was interesting. They wanted to see our term sheet from the previous. So we showed the term sheet and then they released more credits.
What is the minimum size ticket that you're taking for this bridge round?
The minimum is 25K from single investors. But ideally, it would be much better like bigger tickets because otherwise we have so many conversations. There is also a second strategy also to go on seeders for crowdfunding. So to get the kind of 80% of the 400K from private investors, and then go on seeders to amplify that money. But that's more for a marketing reason than the actual money reason. So first is because we get a lot of requests from small angels to chip in with 5K, 10K. And for them, it's much better to direct them on a page that is all like smooth in terms of user journey. And secondly, it's also because the people that invest on seeders are actually also our potential customers. So we will do that basically only for vanity. And then of course, whatever comes up, after our 80% of the 400K, it's good, to have more cash in the company. So in that regard, we already prepared half of the campaign. We are already in conversation with a video production company. We just stopped it now because of the COVID, but ideally we will do it in August or September. Let's see the campaign.
The company is registered in London?
Yes.
I'll be interested in a one-pager and a business deck.
Sure. So we can share with you.
Okay, I'll pass it on and see what the guys think.
Thanks. We'll share with Ram, and then probably Ram can.
And at the moment, we already have a few angels as well that want to join. We have our previous angels investors. They want to chip in again with very small tickets. And then we have potentially another one from Switzerland, this French Swiss. He wants to join with a ticket between 50 to 100K. So basically, yeah, it's like now it's coming all together. So yeah, we share with you the data room.
Michael, you can also refer the GPs of the fund to the YouTube, where they can see the mentor session. They can see this mentor session over again, and the ones from Thursday and Wednesday from last week, so they can get a better impression. This is the new the new thing now. So you don't have to sell it to them. They can actually see it for themselves and play it back.
Maybe a few links as well. Knowing the GPs they would like to meet in person with you guys. So and ask some hard questions. But I see that you can take it.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Yes. Yeah, anytime, any day works. And I mean, if they lift the ban, we can also just fly to Tel Aviv. There's no problem, or Jerusalem.
Awesome.
I'll certainly try it out.
Yeah, Carsten, are you in Frankfurt, or where are you based?
Yes, I'm in Frankfurt. Right. I'm almost downtown in Sachsenhausen.
Okay.
Nice. Just over the river from where I live.
I'm looking on the river right now from my office.
Nice.
Amazing.
I grew up in Bornheim, actually, so.
It's not too bad.
Cool. That's amazing. So yeah, I think we will share in the data room. There is basically all the metrics, the mixed panel, the Google Analytics numbers. There's a financial plan, so you can see what are the projections. There's also a very long business plan if you're interested in a more extensive explanation. There's the one pager. So there's like 5 to 7 documents, and so yeah, you will have a full overview. And every day at 11:30 a.m. German time, we have a stand-up in the company. So it's a conference call. I can share the link with you after if you're interested. You can join anytime, whenever you want, any day. You can just join for 5 minutes just to meet the whole team. It's 6 people. We meet. We say, what we did yesterday, what are we going to do today? If there's any obstacle in our workflow. It's very good, to actually get the feeling of how the company operates. We are very transparent, so it's pretty good to meet all the team. If you want to join, just let me know. I can share the link. It's pretty straightforward.
Good. I wrote that down. Just a question. So you're 3 founders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Combined, I don't need to know individually, but combined, the founding team, how much do they still hold of the company? And what's your target to when you're heading to Series A after the bridge? That the founding team have a combined?
Yeah, the rule of thumb is that each round you give between 20 to 22%, so that, as you said, when you arrive to Series A, the founding team still has control of the company. That's the rule of thumb, the ideal situation. Now, I think altogether, the funding team, the 3 co-founder plus the 2 first employees that have some shares, I think we own more than probably 70% for sure. Maybe
even more than 75.
75. Maybe if you take the stock option, because we already have a stock option plan. So yeah, maybe something like 72, 73%.
It's pretty good shape to be in.
Yeah. Ideally, because now we are going to do this 400K round and then 2 million rounds. The ideal scenario will be if we can just join in 1 round, but doing 2 rounds, will dilute a little bit more. But also the value of the company will increase.
The value will increase tremendously if you had more traction. I think growing organically is a huge setback. You have to put a lot of thought into it and a lot of efforts. If you had enough traction, you wouldn't need the investors. You have a money-making machine. And I see that you have to put more focus on it. There's no other way. That's true. That's the little bit of the hard truth, but it's possible. It's nothing. It's within your reach. You have a fantastic looking product, but the traction is the main thing. More people has to use it.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. Yeah, we exactly. I'm still sharing. No. But on the slides of the budgeting, so with the budgeting plan, actually more than 40% is on marketing.
Cool.
For the next fundraise, yeah.
So we are running out of time. There's 2 minutes left. I will share with both Michael and Thomas your data room, so you guys can have a look. For me, Michael, Thomas, it would be important if you can give some suggestions on distraction, as Michael says, conversion, and moving forward. This is the last of these sessions that Coinrule is having. moving forward. We're going to have some excellent workshops on brand building, on what common mistakes to avoid, pivoting, as well as the digital marketing part. So pretty important workshops moving forward and creating this traction. Any last minute wrap up comments, Thomas, Michael?
I just want to say good luck, guys. Sounds good.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
And yeah, sorry.
I had like I've known those Facebook games that the investment the few investment companies are doing in Israel. So they're actually conducting this competition among among the public and saying, let's see who's the best in trading stocks. And it's actually a game. There is no, everybody's getting the same amount of money to begin with, and they're running with this money, and they're actually copying each other and actually following trends and so on and learning about the markets. And it's always on Facebook. There is a lot of money, but all of it is virtual. There is no real money. And it got into a point that they are now considered to be one of the most impressive investment houses in Israel. Al-Shula Shacham. People didn't know them before that. And they became very famous. And I think this kind of game could be a very easy thing for you to do. And you'll get a lot of traction. It is
a Coinrule tournament.
Yes. And you know, you're going to have the stars or influencers are going to talk about it because they won, and they're going to publish it on Facebook. And you have this like trend going on, and people are going to speak about it. So I think it's a good idea. You know, I stole it from somebody who did it, and it was very smart. But I have no idea. Maybe it's not for you guys. You know better than me for sure. But you know, anything that can help traction.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm looking for more inspiration for the gamification of the app. So, Ole, can you take the name and look for it? I mean, probably it will be easier for you.
Yeah, actually, Michael, if you mind to maybe write it in the chat, because yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna look for the link, but it was the Turner of the Al-Shula Shacham gaming, investment gaming or something like that. So
send it to me, Michael, once you see it.
Sure.
Hey guys, I'm going to wrap up now. Coinrule, really thank you for this final session. Thank you for your patience throughout the week. But most importantly, Thomas and Michael, it's been 3 hours. I know it's not easy. I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to do this with us. Without you, it wouldn't happen. So thank you for your comments, and send Maria and myself an email.
It was my pleasure setting it up.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
And Ram, you've got our data room, yeah?